they live underground, so they're similar to the ground squirrels that you might see around here, but a little bit bigger. And this work is with Dan Blumstein, who's at UCLA, and this is him with his marmot cake. And we do the work here in the Rocky Mountains at 10,000 feet. We ski in the Rocky Mountain Biological Lab in Gothic, Colorado. And we recognize individuals based on these marks that we give them. So you can, this is cherries here. We painted these marks on the backs of the marmots. And we also have a full pedigree, so we can ask questions about genetic relationships. And they typically live in highly related social groups. Okay, so what do the behaviors look like? A little bit different from the hyenas, but similar kinds of functional significance. So the greeting in a marmot is actually rubbing noses, so that's different, but functionally it might have a similar affiliative relationship being conferred here. They also will play with each other, so these take on similar kinds of patterns of behavior as aggression sometimes, but these do not result in any injury, and they're just playful. Usually young individuals are doing this. There's also grooming behavior, where individuals will groom one another, and sitting in close proximity. So similar to our patterns of association for the hyenas. And so basically we calculated rates for any two individuals and how often they're doing these friendly behaviors with each other. And we wanted to know if we could predict these patterns of behavior based on genetics. And so as predicted, I'll walk you through this because it's a little bit, I'll do that first. So marmots come in 3 different major life history stages. So they're born as pups the first year. So these are the pups. And this is a summary graph of about 46 different statistical tests, so I'm summarizing it here. And so they're born as pups, they hibernate, and they emerge as yearlings. These are 1-year-old individuals. And then at 2 years of age, everyone's ready to reproduce, and some start reproducing at later ages, but everyone's functionally an adult. And basically, at each of these 3 life history stages, we saw a strong correlation, roughly about 0.45. So this is the Kendall's tau, which is basically how related, so from 0 to 1, 0 being no relationship between affiliative behavior and genetics, and 1 being completely redundant with each other. There's a strong positive correlation between level of relatedness and how often correcting for opportunities to do these friendly types of behaviors. So in virtually all of these 46 different tests, we had a significant pattern here. So genetic relatives are engaging at higher hourly rates of friendly behaviors. Is that working? It's kind of condensing it down into one. I could show you all the tables, but do that later. Okay, so that's working. And then we actually wanted to know, how are these affiliative or friendly behaviors changing across development? So across different life history stages. And we basically measured how symmetric these behaviors are. So I can groom you, you can groom me, and that would be a very symmetrical relationship. You could also imagine, so that's more symmetrical is down here. You could also imagine scenarios where I groom you, but you don't really groom me back, and so that's a less symmetric relationship. And it turns out that the pups have less symmetric friendly relationships. But as individuals cross these different stages of development, they become more symmetric in the degree to which they are exchanging these affiliative behaviors. So they're more symmetric. If I'm grooming you, you're grooming me back, and we're doing this in a more symmetrical fashion. Okay? And this is increasing across age. And most of this is happening with genetic relatives. Okay. So I put this in for Scott, but he's not here because he likes to play. It's play practice for later dominance. So I'm going to show a video. This actually runs, yeah, I'm good. I'll just let it run here while I'm talking, and maybe it won't go. And if that's true, then I will exit out because it's really cute. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So let me just get out of here. Basically, I'm going to show you a video where marmots are engaged in a variety of affiliative interactions and show you what play looks like in these animals. And interactions where individuals are coming together, they have these bouncy bouts of behavior where one animal is, that's a greeting behavior, so they're seeing a series of behaviors. Some of them will be play. And when these animals, they're sitting in proximity, so that's another example of an affiliative behavior. Here's the play. When play happens, you sometimes have one individual that is the clear winner in this interaction. It's not a violent interaction. These are yearlings that are playing with each other. It's not violent in the same way that aggression would be. But they're wrestling with each other. It goes on for sometimes several minutes. And this individual on the right here won that play bout. So there's this play interaction, and they'll come back together and they'll do it again. And it can go on for play mounting, play wrestling, play biting, and you can quantify all these different kinds of behavior. When the individuals separate from mouth sparring, so lots of different, when they separate from each other, one individual, so that one that left, that was the loser. The other one that stayed in its spot, that was the winner. And what we wanted to know was whether play is just meaningless and waste all this energy, why bother with play, or does it actually help them practice for something later in life? Is play meaningful? Do you get something out of it? Do you practice these things that might be beneficial later in life? Okay, this is going on a loop. So that's the question, and it turns out that it is important. Okay? And if there's time later, I promise I'll let it run longer.